where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Arthur Ashe.
All right, Art.
Maybe this seems a little bit obvious, but I feel like for me, I spend so much time focused on what I don't have that would make it easier to do what I want to do. I feel like I fall into that trap so easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then it's like, no. What do you have? How can you use it and use it well? It's like some Yoda-ish.
That's the only way to do your own thing anyway. You see other people doing things and you're like, oh man, if I had the things they had, I could do that too. But no, then you'd just be doing their thing.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of pulls you away. It encourages to pull away from the comparison trap.
Yeah.
Which is, gosh, this is so relevant in the social media age and all of that stuff right now.
Right.
It's like, well, you know what? You have things they don't have that make you unique and special, and no one's journey is exactly the same. People find success or find happiness or whatever they're trying to do in all kinds of different ways. That's why I like reading autobiographies for just, inspiration for people that have done it their way. But it's still like, nah, dog. You got to do it your way with what you got, with who you are.
I did it my way.
Yeah.
Not the highway.
Anywho.
Hello!
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of
Positivity.
This is the feel-good podcast where we bring you good vibes by the spoonful.
Feel good.
Feel good. Oh, so good.
Good.
I am your host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan.
I'm also your host, Jacob Kahn.
Yeah, and we're here for more good stuff in your ears or on your screens if you're watching on YouTube. I know I mentioned last week I was super, super close to 1,000 subscribers. And guess what? We reached 1,000 subs on YouTube. I think I'm at like 1,002. So I feel like it's official. Yeah. I feel safe-ish saying that we made it. I got a little notification on my phone and from YouTube being like, hey, you did it. And I was like, oh, thanks, YouTube. So yeah, thank you for anyone that hopped over from our podcast fam over to our YouTube channel to help support.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
1,001K.
Yeah.
1000.
With a comma sometimes. Yeah, so that is very exciting. I wanted to start the podcast with that excellent news. So thank you for supporting us over there. And of course, if you're listening wherever you are on the interwebs, thank you for your support as well.
Thanks for giving us your ears.
Your ears. And, if you want to write a little 5-star review or whatever, I wouldn't complain. Am I getting greedy? I don't know. It's a podcast. For more people to hear it, you got to do the things. Mm-hmm. But anyway, should we jump right in? Jacob, what's your tea today?
Oh, I am drinking Trader Joe's Well-Rested Herbal Tea. Oh. Caffeine-free herbal blend that has a magical peppermint and chamomile twisted quality to it.
A little bit of lemongrass in there?
Probably a little bit of lemongrass.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's really comforting tea.
I actually usually drink it to go like right before I'm going to bed because it's a sleepy time, well-rested sort of a tea. Mm-hmm. And it calms me down. I already had a cup of coffee today, and I was feeling like...
You had a cup of coffee immediately before you had this tea.
Exactly. Also. Right. Yeah. And actually, I'm pretty proud of myself. I was thinking, this is PositiviTea. I have to drink tea, and I almost put a caffeinated tea in the jar that I'm brewed it. And I was like, no, I don't need it. I need tea, but I don't need more caffeine. So
absolutely.
I need to relax. Rab meow. And this is how you do that.
So I think Well Rested is one of my favorite, especially like evening teas, hands down.
We got a cat on the table.
Cat action on YouTube. He's looking at the screen like, what could you be looking at that is cuter than me?
Hey, human, stop.
What are you doing? All right. So there's that's Meriadoc Brandybuck.
At the back of his head, anyway.
One of our little hobbitses.
Oh, boy.
He's just, now that's a cat tail and butt action. Wow, this is an exciting podcast today. Your tail is like right over my face.
It's
Mr.
pretty great.
Mary.
It's pretty great.
Moving on.
It's an illusion. Is it Mary or is it Mary?
People do ask us. They're like, wow, you're named Mary and your cat's named Mary.
Well, no,
How do y'all deal with that?
You're Mary and
he's watching himself on the monitor now. But he's Meriadoc.
Meriadoc Brandybuck.
I'll say Mr. Merry
Mr.
or just Merry in general. Like I'll lightly flip that R.
I feel like you say it differently because it is spelled differently, and I do pronounce it slightly differently.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Although it has happened a couple of times where I'll hear some variation of Mary from another room, and I'll be like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Oh no, no, that's the cat." Or he'll be like, I'm talking to you, Mary."
So Mary,
Me.
human Mary.
Okay, yeah.
What are you drinking?
So yeah, I'm drinking an English classic, Yorkshire tea, with maple syrup and oat milk, which is like the fancy vegan version of the British way, and it is so good. It is so good. We had oat milk in the house this week because Jacob baked a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that have been with us for a while, know that baking is a big way that Jacob kind of...
You should try it.
Yeah.
You relieve stress and you get to have fun. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes you get an edible treat at the end of it.
Yeah. So he bought some
Not
oatmeal
always.
for a cake specifically.
Yeah.
So I've been like, ooh, what teas would this taste magical in? And I'm like, what better than an English classic where, milk and sugar is required.
For sure. It's one of my favorite.
They don't drink tea like I drink tea in
teas.
England, generally speaking.
No.
So which is why when I reached for this English tea, I was like, ooh, I can do this extra super fancy with oat milk. And I'm very much enjoying it. It's really good. It's like
I'm
a
so
treat
glad.
because it's sweet.
It's a sweet treat.
Sweet treat. Wow.
Speaking of cats.
Yeah.
Last week, you were weighing whether pet therapy was going to work for you. What do you think? Where you at in that consideration?
So, Marie Kondo is so popular, right, Meow? And I would say the cats bring me so much joy. They can stay.
They spark joy for you?
They spark so much joy.
Good.
KonMariing, everything. The cats are staying. Yeah,
Good.
no, I really wish that I had had the opportunity to have cats in my life sooner. I find my overall stress and anxiety levels are decreased.
Nice.
When I am actually working, as I mentioned this last week, they get to the point where I'm just like sitting at my desk doing work, and they're like, but you should take a break because I'm adorable.
Yeah, they take you out of yourself, right?
They do. And they get me out of my head, which is super great because sometimes when I get stuck in my head, that's when panic attacks, which I've also talked about in detail on an episode before, can happen, which are not fun.
No.
And their purrs are so cute. They're snuggle cuddle buddies, and they're adorable together, whether they're playing or whether they're grooming each other or whatever it is. They spark so much joy. So yeah, definitely a cat is A+ for me.
Yeah, it's like a low maintenance child too, right? Like you get to take care of a life form, but like it mostly takes care of itself.
Yeah, cats are pretty independent in that way, and the fact that we got 2 bonded kittens means I'm also not responsible for running them ragged every day.
Oh yeah, they
like playing with
wear
them.
each other out.
They wear each other out. Yeah, so I don't have to get an automatic laser pointer or anything.
Every day's a play date.
Every day's a play date, which is really, and a snuggle date, which is so cute. When they're tired, then they cuddle together, and it's so much joy.
We love it.
So yeah, it's been going super well. So Jacob, last week you said that you were carving out some me time on your necessary commute to work, which you've been walking since we moved. How's that been going for you this week?
I look forward to it. It's the only thing I look forward to going to work, but I look forward to it every day that I go to work now. It's great.
That's really great.
Because it's time that I know I'll have to just kind of zone out into music or podcasts or whatever for me.
And
That's
I've noticed
really nice.
too, when you leave for work, you're less on edge.
Oh yeah, having that time in between where I know I'm gonna do something I enjoy has made the anticipation of work much more. It's mellowed it out a lot for me. So
yeah, because sometimes when you're working a job that's really hard on you, physically, mentally, whatever it is, even just thinking about going back to that place, even if it's the day or two before, it can be really overwhelming. But now you have that nice buffer.
Even worse than the actual job itself sometimes.
Work
just that
dreams?
feeling of
Has anyone ever had work stress streams?
Go back there.
Oh my gosh.
It's the worst because then, you're working and then you go home and you're tired, you go to bed and then you're at work.
And then you're working.
Then you wake up and you have to go to work and it's like you never leave.
Yeah. Oh. Oof.
But yeah, that's been really nice and it's been helping a lot.
That's good.
So,
yeah. That's really wonderful. I'm really happy
Thanks.
for you that you're keeping that up and you're planning on keeping this a habit, walking to work, taking your time, doing you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do a little
I'm really
dance.
happy to hear that.
Yes, for sure. What have you been doing this week?
Okay, so
What you up to?
yeah. So this week was a make time for friends when you can week.
Yeah.
In the last week, I think I saw 5 different friends.
Yes.
Some of them one at a time, some of them 2 at a time-ish. And I was like, you know what? I took a day off from an episode this week, which is really, really hard for me. I did not do a Tuesday Tea Time with Mary on the YouTube channel. And I'm extremely self-disciplined. I've got tenacity to spare. It's very hard for me to miss something. But I was like, you know what? I'm tired. And my body is exhausted. I've been going at it with physical therapy twice a week, which is really, really tiring for me. And I was like, I need to recharge my batteries. I need to recharge my body. And I was like, you know what? Carve out time to spend time with friends.
That's so great.
Yeah, because my friends are my friends for a reason. I hang out with people who we lift each other up. We inspire each other. We laugh a lot. Last night we had a few people over for board games and I laughed so much in the span of a few hours. And I'm so thankful for that. And when everyone comes over, they also love the kitties too. So that's fun. It's like, let me share in my little joys, my little nuggets of joy who are currently...
Mary's Mufasa-ing off the side of the bookshelf again.
They probably saw that, actually.
Might have. Yeah, he does that a lot. He's like, I got this, and then he very clearly doesn't.
Yeah, no, and he just literally hangs from his little paws from things. We call it, Mufasa-ing, which is maybe a little dark, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He's a cat.
He's fine. He's got at least 5 more lives.
He lands on his feet every time, though. Like I said, he's the athletic kitty of the two, for sure. Pippin just doesn't even try. Which is very funny because he's a little derp.
Can you tell it's affecting us in a positive way? We can't stop talking about them.
And smiling while we're talking about them. So yeah, making time for friends this week has been really, really beneficial. I mean, the way I tend to run, I'm not good at spreading it out. I'm good at having a week or two where it's lots of friends and then I retreat to my little hole to do my introverted things I need to do. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
I don't think that's a bad thing at all because I'm truly an introverted person. I'm sure you can relate because you are also an extremely introverted person.
99% introverted on the Myers-Briggs test.
We're almost the same Myers-Briggs personality type. Yeah. Just one letter off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an INFJ and you're an INFP.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm the 2% of the population one where it's either Gandhi or Hitler. So they're like, you're a creative person, but you're different because you have a lot of drive. Use it for good, please. Is basically what the breakdown of my Myers-Briggs personality type. And then you're like the Tolkiens and the Shakespeares of the world. So.
Yeah, the idiosyncratic maniacs who hold themselves up and work on.
I mean, I would like to think
crazy
about it more
large projects
than that. The ambitious, creative, master world builder types.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
More positively, I'm trying.
I'm trying to. I don't think I'm gonna be Gandhi, but I'm trying to deal with my darkness and my motivation in a positive way, like doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, how did we get here? Yes, making time for friends this week.
Heck,
it was really good for my soul.
Love it.
So, Jacob.
Yeah.
How about you? What did you do for your self-care experiment this week?
Well, as you already mentioned, I baked a cake this week.
You did.
And I baked a cake out of a book that I have. And I have this big recipe book that I got as a gift from my mom, which was very nice.
For Christmas.
For Christmas. And I have been meaning for a while now, since Christmas, which is a little while ago now.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to plan out time to do some of the recipes from this book, because a lot of them are things that I am not super familiar with. I cook all the time. I bake a lot, but I don't.
I'm so lucky.
I don't have a ton of skills with like complicated, complex things. Like I know the basics of cooking and throwing things together, and usually that's what I do. I don't usually follow recipes. I usually just be like, okay, I got this and this and this.
Well, you can do that with cooking, because baking is science.
Yeah, I mean,
It's chemistry.
there are some basic baking things where I'm like, I know how to make a brownie and like a cookie.
You know how to make a good chocolate chip cookie,
and like,
etc.
and I know how to make a cake, but something I had never actually really tried to do, and this is the first time that I've done it, is to make a layer cake and to make frosting from scratch. And this recipe in here was very exciting. I was like, you know what? I'm going to plan it out. I'm going to buy the ingredients I don't have, and I'm going to stick to their ingredients for the most part, too. For the most part. I did turn it into a gluten-free cake as well.
Which I appreciate.
We can eat it.
It was a classic, like, yellow party cake with a chocolate frosting.
Yeah.
How do you think it turned out?
I think it was really great. I surprised myself.
It was amazing.
Especially because I improvised the gluten-free part. I was like, well, I don't really know how to make
Jacob is
gluten-free
like
cake flour.
He's like a flour wizard. We have like 12 different kinds of gluten-free flours in our... I gave Jacob. Well, when we moved into the new kitchen, into the new apartment, I wanted to set up a whole double-door set of cabinets just for Jacob's like flours and baking stuff.
That was really cool. She was setting stuff up, and I came back one day and I was like, here's your baking thing. And I was like, oh, yeah. I could...
It's like you double door it open and there's all your magic and wonder.
It's really great.
He just throws stuff together and I'm like, what kind of flowers are in this today? And he's like, oh, a pinch of this, a splash of that. And it turns out amazing. And the texture was great. Ooh. And even our friends that we had over for games the other day, we fed them even like several day old cake that we like re-moistened a bit. And they were crazy about it.
Yeah. That recipe was really cool because it was the first time I've done the aquafaba thing where I whipped aquafaba to make it sort of like egg whites in a cake. And
for those of you that don't know, aquafaba, it sounds weird.
It does sound weird, but it works.
When you buy canned chickpeas, it's the liquid that is in with the chickpeas, and the structures in it act a lot like egg whites. So they do foam and form peaks. If you whip them. And we had been terrified of using it because it's weird and it sounds weird.
It just added this light, fluffy airiness to the cake batter. And it worked really well. And I don't have a stand mixer too, so I did that by hand. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know if this is going to work because I say to use a stand mixer.
A dream for us would be getting one of those KitchenAid stand mixers. Yeah. I look at them at Target every time we're there and daydream, and I'm like, I can't spend $300 on a kitchen appliance.
Don't need to. I have my wrist and a whisk. Wrist and a whisk.
Wrist and a whisk.
But to answer your question more completely, what have I been doing this week? I took that cookbook and I have chosen several recipes out of it, including the cake. But I've planned to make things from recipes out of a cookbook, which is abnormal for me. But it's been fun because I have this shopping list drawn up now of things that I need to buy specifically for ingredients that I need to buy specifically for recipes, which is unique and fun. And like thinking about doing all these recipes is exciting.
And it's actually really great cooking the full recipe because then you and I were two people. We have dinner or at least lunch for a few days.
Oh yeah, the cake was supposed to serve 16 people. Oops.
Well, we ate it in small portions steadily and then just like gave the rest to our friends last night.
Yeah. It was fine. Yeah. Not a lot of cake for a while.
It was a lot of cake. Maybe we'll like half the recipe and make it in a loaf pan or something next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was delicious. We'll see. I'm really proud of you because I know you get a lot of joy out of that.
It's been a nice little project to have to focus on and think about and plan for and then do because I enjoyed doing it. And then if it works out, and so far it's been working out, this book is great, I get to share food with people. Be like, here, eat this. Yeah. And that brings me joy, too.
Yeah. Marie Kondo. So, it can stay.
It can stay. The cookbook can stay.
Community news. Welcome to our next segment of the podcast, Community News,
Woo!
where we take good news from you,
Yeah.
the listeners,
Hey.
and give you a little shout out and celebrate your general awesomeness here on the podcast. So, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little desperate for community news this week because for some reason today Instagram and Facebook decided just to not really function.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, Twitter, first come, first serve. Who's got it? Who's got some good news? And I did get some.
Cool, yeah.
I'm be proud of myself. So these are all from Twitter this week.
Awesome.
Some names you may have heard on the podcast before for some of our awesome podcast fam.
Okay.
So this first one is from Beverly Butterfly.
Hi, Beverly.
Hello, Beverly. Beverly is actually the one that introduced me to the tea I'm drinking today.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
We both love it.
So much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Beverly Butterfly over on Twitter said that it's her birthday in a couple of days, and one of her friends came over yesterday to have some tea and chat.
Yes.
Speaking of, having people come over would be really special time, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I currently can't drive a car because I'm still in post ankle surgery, so it can be kind of daunting to be like, can you come to me? And stuff like that. It can be a lot, and I think that's so special, Beverly.
It really is.
And
hey.
she had tea, so bonus.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Super exciting.
Super exciting. So I'm so happy for you that you were able to have a friend over,
Yeah.
spend time together, enjoy yourselves, have a spot of tea.
What a nice way to celebrate your birthday.
Right?
Too, with having a friend and chatting. I always
That's me.
I always think about birthday things, and my brain goes back to like kid things, like throwing a party and cake and stuff. And then I think no, but I'm an adult. I like sitting around and talking to people.
We usually have friends over for board games and tea for our birthday.
Yeah.
Which is just
It's
A+
just great.
time.
I just like spending time with people. It's so nice with your friends.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful way to celebrate your birthday.
So I think that is some excellent community news.
Yes.
Alrighty, moving on. Still on Twitter. This is from Amanda Panda.
Amanda!
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Amanda has been a part of the Tea Time fam for a long time, and we super appreciate you. And she said she went on a road trip to an author signing with a good friend. They had a great time and needed the break from everything just to be friends.
Sweet.
Again, not planned at all.
Yeah.
These are literally things I received on Twitter 10 minutes ago. And I'm so thrilled that you got to spend time with a friend to just be a friend. And this one was a little different. Instead of staying in and being all hygge and cozy, you went out to do a thing, you left your regular everyday lives, even for but a few hours, and just got to be your good old selves.
Heck yeah.
And I think that that's just really phenomenal. And for an author signing. So you have this thing in common that's fun and road trip and all the good things. How exciting is that?
It's so exciting. Such a nice way to spend time and to warm your soul with friends.
Right? Warm your soul with friends and books and road trips.
And road trips.
Road trips. There are so many ways to spend time with the people that you love.
Yeah.
And I am super not shy about saying to my friends also, this is a thing that some people feel weird about, but I tell my friends, when I give them a hug goodbye, I say, I love you. Thank you for coming over. I'm not afraid of telling my friends that I love them.
Yeah, why should you be?
Yeah. I don't know. Some people in the past, or some people are weird about it, but and even so, if I'm inspired to be I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad that you're in my life. You're such a wonderful impact, and thank you. Just thank you for being awesome.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing to tell people in your life that you really appreciate them for just being a part of you. And I don't know, maybe try it. If you haven't told someone that, maybe you play video games, or maybe you're a streamer and people watch you, let them know how much you appreciate them. Or if it's one of your best friends who, you've known them for 10 years, but just take the 2 seconds to be hey, thanks for, you're awesome. I'm so glad we're friends. It feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
I try to incorporate it into my life more and more.
That's so great.
So yeah, I'm so thrilled that these like fit in.
Yeah.
Randomly. So
They're
the
all in the
Twitterverse
same theme. I love it.
came into alignment.
Yes.
However, I do not have a third piece of community news today. So Jacob, what is something good that happened to you this week? It could be anything, big or small.
Oh wow!
I know.
Put me on the spot. What's something good that happened to me?
That wasn't baking a cake.
Oh yeah. I had a bit of time where I was stranded without my car because it was getting the oil changed. And I did something that I haven't done in a little while. I took myself to the movies.
Yeah.
Which I love doing.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, I like going to the movies with people too, but like it's an antisocial activity anyway, and you know, I just like the movies. I like being there.
You treated yourself. You did a date day with yourself.
I dated myself.
Yes. I did a whole episode about dating yourself.
Yeah.
I released for Valentine's Day on the Miss Mary Lou YouTube channel. And that's so important. It's important to date yourself. Take that time. Jacob was one of the first people that I ever met who was like, yeah, I take myself to the movies all the time. And I was like,
why not?
That's so cool.
What about you, Mary? I know we don't really do 3, but what's something good that happened to you
this
week?
Is going to be a long podcast this week.
Yeah.
It is. That's okay. If we're just feeling it, we're feeling it.
We're feeling it.
Oh, gosh. What is something good? You know what? I'm really proud of myself. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but I've been going to physical therapy for my ankle.
Yeah.
Which we started this podcast really fresh after my ankle surgery. And it's a very, very long recovery. It's like a 4 to 6 month recovery, and I'm at about 4 months right now. And, you know, I tend to take a little on the longer side with most things, whether it's recovering from the flu or, you know, having my ligament nailed back into my ankle. So I'm proud of myself that I've been keeping up with physical therapy, going as many times a week as I need to, practicing some exercises at home, and I'm seeing a big improvement in my ability. Not in my pain. My pain has stayed the same because I'm doing more with it, but I am able to function at a little bit of a more normal level. Like I can do the stairs now 1 foot at a time.
Yeah, I would even say that I've noticed you seem, and I know you say it still hurts, so obviously it doesn't feel this way probably, but it looks and seems as though you are walking and standing and going downstairs totally back to normal for you.
Yeah,
which is
Like,
fantastic.
yeah,
to
I
see.
can support the weight. I'm more balanced. It still really hurts because I am like getting more function out of it now, and I still have a lot of inflammation in my bones and stuff.
Right, because that's a thing.
Yeah, your bones can be inflamed.
It's silly.
I can't go into too much detail about the whole ankle business because it was an injury at work. But I'm really proud that I've been doing physical therapy, that I've noticed a difference. I've been managing the pain okay. The pain is still the same.
Yeah.
But just being able to, you know, even go up and down the stairs 1 foot at a time instead of having to step with my good foot first and then meeting my bad foot, good foot, bad foot. It takes a long time to go up and down the stairs that way.
You have mastered your ankle.
Master of the ankle.
You're a wizard.
Wizard ankle wizard. Good stuff.
Good news, everyone. I have good news.
It's good news.
Yeah, this is the segment of the podcast where you get some happy news coming to your ears.
Hell yeah.
Something good from the media. Something not depressing.
Yeah, again, important to stay informed, but also maybe don't let it drag you down into a spiral of despair. So we're here for you.
Yeah, there's always good news out there.
Always good news. So Jacob, what did you dig out of the depths of the interwebs for us this week?
I like this preface becoming a thing.
Thank you. I like it too. I've been saying it every week.
I read this in the New York Times. This actually happened today.
Wow.
The new governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has issued a death sentence to the death sentence. At least for the time being.
A death sentence? So, like, the death sentence is dead?
Yes.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Still, technically, legally, it's a thing in California. He can't just...
I didn't even know that the
Yeah.
death sentence was a thing in California.
So this
Holy
is actually something that
crow.
we voted on 2 years ago, and it wasn't abolished. And also,
Oh.
the proposition that was approved at that time sped up the appeals process for death row inmates. So it actually made it like a whole lot worse. But there have been lots of legal challenges to executions over the last, what is it now, 13 years. It hasn't been an actual execution in California for 13 years.
That's probably why.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
The largest of which is probably that the method of execution is pretty controversial and inhumane. It's a 3-drug protocol, which has been shown to cause painful deaths, like a lot of the time. So that's pretty awful, and that has led to lots of challenges. So this is not necessarily like a stop to something that was happening right now, but it is important, not only for the fact that at the moment now, because of this reprieval that he's given to all of the 737 inmates in California who are on death row, they are not at present able to be executed until a legal challenge to his proclamation is upheld. So they're good for now, and that's great.
How is this being received by Californians in general?
I mean, it happened today, so I don't
we'll
know.
see.
But I am calling this good news, and the reason I'm calling this good news is because 737 people are not for sure going to die at the hand of the state. And that, I think, is good news, right?
I think so. We apologize if this is a bit of a controversial topic, but I think that there are maybe reasons why people just shouldn't be executed. It's like the death penalty has always been really sad for me, and it makes me think of, a dark history in the United States where lynching people, especially people of color, and when it was entertainment, and not just in the United States, but in other parts of the world as well. And it feels very like old school in a bad way to me.
Yeah.
I feel like we as humans should have evolved past that by now, which, call me an optimist, call me whatever. And yes, maybe you think some crimes should be punishable by death, but I believe that there are other solutions that are more effective and more helpful for the individual, especially because there are so many people that have been executed by the state that they have later found out are innocent people.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, that the moral argument aside, and not that we should put that aside altogether, because it's an important argument to be made, but the big issue is that there are so many instances of people who have been proven after the fact, after the sentencing, to be innocent of the crime they were sentenced to death for. And it's such an imperfect system. Since the mid-1970s, there have been over 150 people nationwide who have been exonerated of the crimes they were accused of and sentenced to death for. And that's only the people for whom those things were looked into for. There's lots of people who can't get that.
Who don't have the resources, whether it's knowledge,
done for
money,
them,
for lawyers, etc., etc.
It's also been proven time and again to be a super
answer.
racially discriminatory system.
Well, yeah, a lot of, incarceration and that whole system nowadays, and, previously is very racially fueled, very unjustly, which is just, again, like it all goes back, like I said, historically, just people in the minority who are being discriminated against, whether it's, in Massachusetts, someone would just be like, "You're a witch, burn him at the stake." Like, that's crazy. And all of that it's so icky to me.
Yeah.
Again, feel how you want. If you think some people deserve the death penalty, right on. You're entitled to think how you're going to think, but 150 people who were executed nationwide who were later found innocent, That's not nothing.
It's messed up. 20 states currently have abolished the death penalty. Oregon, Colorado, and Pennsylvania have all done away with the death penalty in a similar way to what's happening in California right now. A couple of years ago, Washington State, the governor of Washington State, issued a similar reprieval, and it was challenged in court, and the state Supreme Court of Washington deemed capital punishment to be unconstitutional, and that settled the matter in Washington.
So that's actually really good news. If the governor of California, what he is doing, has a track record of succeeding with the Supreme Court of the state, then this really could be an avenue to stop murdering people, and whether they're innocent or not, but just to stop killing people.
California is a massive state.
Oh, it's so... I didn't realize growing up in New England, where all the states are like itty bitty, teeny tiny, California is so big. It's such a big state.
But because of its size and its progressive nature, it's often looked to and referenced as a case in point for arguments in these matters. And just the symbolism of what happened today is really, really important, just for that reason alone.
Wow. So yeah, breaking news.
Yeah. I thought it was exciting, and I wanted to share it.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful news. What a good article. A little more serious.
Heck yeah.
But like good. It all can't be puppies staying in IKEA during the winter.
But go get some puppies at IKEA.
Yeah, they do that in Italy. If you do want to go listen to that episode, it is PositiviTea Season 1, Episode 5.
Yeah.
And there's a great story about puppies that are allowed to live in IKEA. And that's fun. Good things for humans.
Yeah.
And doggos sometimes.
And sometimes doggos. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that was pretty good.
That was great. I think that was a good podcast this week.
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
I'm feeling really good. Like we say this almost every week, but I always feel so much better after recording this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And take stuff that we do, practice it with your friends and fam.
It helps. It really does. Yeah. Sit down with someone and engage in positivity.
Positivity. Tell your friends you love them. Talk about that good news story you heard.
Yeah.
Or what are you doing to take care of yourself this week?
Shoot.
Talk about it. Make it a part of your environment, which makes it a part of your reality.
Totally.
Oh, anywho, Jacob, do you have a positive quote for us this week?
Yeah, I'll offer you this bit of encouragement.
Excellent.
You can, you should, and if you're brave enough to start, you will. Stephen King.
Stephen King coming through with the wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, I really, really like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is kind of similar to the message of my quote that opened the podcast this week.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, Stephen King.
Okay.
I love Stephen King. Stephen King is a delight on Twitter in general.
Yeah.
If you don't follow Stephen King on Twitter, not sponsored, but go
But
follow.
please sponsor us.
I don't think Stephen King would ever listen to this podcast.
Stephen King, if you're listening, you're great.
You're great. We love you.
We love you.
We
thank you for being a part of our lives.
Right? We KonMari'd a lot of our book collection, but all of our Stephen King books and all of our Harry Potter books stayed.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
This has been really great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's been so lovely.
Yeah, we will see you next Thursday. Bye.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week on the PositiviTea podcast. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Mary Lou, at PositiviTea, TEA podcast at gmail.com. And we are also on YouTube at the Miss Mary Lou YouTube channel. Wherever you are listening to us, please give us a like, a follow, a share, and leave a nice review. We would appreciate a little bit of positivity in our lives. The logo design is by Hilda Meyer Post. The music is by my co-host Jacob Kahn. I am your co-host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on Thursday.